Signs up, signs up. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Two.
Thank you. The Scout Law will go to Kenny.
Signs up. A scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. 2.
The Scout Oath will go to Philip.
Signs up. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty and to God and my country. To God and my country, and to obey the Scout Law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. 2.
The Outdoor Code will go to Ethan.
Signs up. Signs up. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we hear you.
As an American, I'll do my best to be clean in my outdoor manners, be careful with fire, be considerate in the outdoors, and be conservation minded.
Okay, guys, this next slide, this is what we're going to be doing today. Last week, we finished 3 portions out of 5 of the outdoor ethics. And this week, we're going to do the last 2, which will complete it for you guys that attended both weeks. And you'll get the outdoor ethics patch that you can wear on your right pocket if you want to. We're going to be talking about tread lightly. Mr. Jerome is going to be our instructor for that. And then number 5, we're going to have a short workshop conducted by Mr. Jerry for you guys. Excuse me, you may remember him from being one of the adults when we were Cub Scouts. So without further ado, I'd like to turn this over to Mr. Jerome. And here we go.
Okay, sir.
I'd like to add that Mr. Jerome was having computer problems this morning. I guess it rained hard where he lives last night. So if we lose contact with him, just stay logged in. Jerome, are you here? Okay, I just got a message from him that said, just a minute, he's doing something. Yes, Joshua, you can turn your camera off. I'll ask you to turn it on periodically just to make sure you didn't fall asleep. I understand you might run out of power. Okay, at the end of the meeting today, I'd like to have the boys stick around for about 5 minutes like last week. Let's see. Philip, can you tell me about PE? Have you finished it yet?
Wait. I don't know where the I lost it because I was replacing it with the call it again. Oh yeah, the earning thing. I put it in the same board, but then I lost it.
Well, do you know how many you did?
I think I did like 18, I think.
All right, well, you need to find that later today and let me know, okay?
Okay.
All right, next week's meeting for the boys, this is, will be a short meeting and you're gonna finish tasks 8C and D. So next week, you're gonna need to show up with the sheet of paper that you printed out 2 weeks ago and explain your comparison shopping to the rest of the people in the troop. So it shouldn't take you long. Let's say, for example, you decided to buy a box of Legos, model XYZ, and you looked on Shopee, Lazada, and maybe Amazon, and you found the different prices, and you decided which one was the cheapest and which one that you're going to buy. So that's what you're going to be presenting next week to complete tasks 8C and 8D. So it'll be a short meeting. Please have that stuff ready next week.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, I'll try to share my screen.
All right.
Can you now see my screen, sir?
No, not yet.
Not yet. How about now, sir?
Not yet. Okay, we're starting. We got it now.
All right, so good morning, everyone, and welcome to the second part of our Outdoor Ethics Awareness Award. So now we'll be trying to finish requirement number 4, which is the tread light. Okay, so just to give you a little introduction about the Tread Lightly, it is a nonprofit organization with a mission of promoting the fun and enjoyment of the outdoors and the responsibility that comes with it. Um, it also is an ethical and educational force in bringing together a lot of people, different agencies, and organizations who share a common goal to find balance between humans and nature. And lastly, they also promote responsible outdoor recreation through ethics, education, and stewardship programs. So aside from the Tread Lightly online awareness course, they also have other seminars and face-to-face programs, which are all posted in their website. Okay, so before we proceed with the Tread Lightly principles, I would like first to ask you the following questions. Okay, so if you want to answer, you can just leave your answers in the comment box or in the comment section. Okay, so for the first one, what do you think outdoor ethic means? Is it letter A, a long story about the outdoors? Is it letter B, a group of people interested in the outdoors? Or is it letter C, a group of principles or set of values that guides behavior? Okay, so I'll be giving you 5 seconds. You can uh, type in your answers. Okay, so 5 seconds is up. So for this one, the correct answer would be letter C. Okay, so outdoor ethic means a group of principles or set of values that guides behavior. And now that we know the meaning of outdoor ethics, why is having an outdoor ethic important? Okay, so is it so recreationists have the knowledge and values that allow them to make wise decisions that will letter B, limit their impacts to the environment, or letter C, natural recreational resources are finite and limited and must be maintained for continued use. So again, I'll be giving you 5 seconds to type in your
Sir, it's Chappie.
Okay, so for this one, outdoor ethic is important because of letter A. So recreationists have the knowledge. Oh, sorry. Yes,
Okay,
sorry.
guys, I just like to add that Jerome's having,
Can you hear me now?
yeah, we can hear you. It's a little bit lagging, kind of choppy. Just go ahead and continue on. We understand your situation.
All right. So again, outdoor ethics is important. So recreationists have the knowledge and value that allow them to make wise ethic needs and importance of an art. So this one because uh sorry, hello sir. I think
Yes. We lost your screen share.
All right. I'll just try it again. Okay. So,
Okay, we've got it.
all right. So, why do we need an ethic? Okay. So again, it's rights versus responsibilities. Let us always remember that our right stops when the right of others begin. It's all fun and games. Remember that we all have our individual responsibilities when we go activities. Next, use of motorized equipment for outdoor recreation has potential for substantial impact on waters and others who recreate. So if we're going to use ATVs or motorized water boats, uh, we might have a negative or positive on the surrounding and the environment we're going to do our outdoor activity. Next, the demand for access to basic because uh, it's maybe this is
You're lagging again, Jerome.
have yes.
Sir, you're lagging.
Okay, guys, let's take a 5-minute break.
So that's why we need to conserve them and to take care of them. Next, reducing the impacts on the land as well as minimizing conflicts with other users is necessary to maintain access to existing recreation areas. So again, this will bring us back to point number one, which is the rights versus responsibilities. So in everything that we do, there is a respective impact. It can be positive or negative. Next and last would be the federal, state, and local regulations are not enough. Right? So with good decision making, this starts with understanding the reasons why certain behaviors are good or bad. So with the outdoor ethic, it would be much easier for us to follow local regulations. And from our simple uh, uh, following of these regulations, then it may rules of the tread cycle. First is to travel responsibly. So on land, you might ride on designated routes and trails and stay in permitted areas. And on water, you travel on designated waterways and launch watercraft in designated areas. So why do we need to do these things? These are fundamentals of reducing impacts on the land and in water. So each recreational activity requires specialized techniques for negotiating terrain. By learning and applying these techniques, our impact will be greatly reduced. Okay, so some of other things that we can do is to travel only in areas that are open to our type of recreation. Again, we need to stay on routes and trails designated for our travel, not create new routes or expand existing trails. Also, we need to understand and practice proper techniques related to negotiating terrain and navigation of waterways. So that is for travel responsibly. Next, we also need to respect the rights of others. So on land, including private property owners, all recreational trail users, campers, and others, to allow them to enjoy their recreational activities undisturbed. And on water, it includes anglers, swimmers, skiers, boaters, divers, and others to allow them to enjoy their recreational activities undisturbed. So why do we need to respect the rights of others? Respect and common courtesy go a long way. So by valuing the environment and those who enjoy it, you keep recreational opportunities available for you and others to enjoy. So remember these rules and you will find your outdoor experience to be more rewarding. So other things that are related to this principle would be to keep a cheerful and pleasant attitude. A simple hello goes a long way to building a friendly relationship with other trail users. So this might give you an opportunity to make new friends. Next, we also need to yield the right of way to those passing you or traveling uphill, and to always yield to horses. When driving, also yield to hikers and bikers. We should also leave gates as he found them, unless otherwise posted. So that is for the respect the rights of others. Next, we also need to educate ourselves. So obtain travel maps and regulations from public agencies. Plan for your trip, take recreation skills classes, and know how to use and operate your equipment safely. So we need to educate ourselves because with a little preparation and education, we can make up our next outdoor experience fun and safe while protecting the environment. We need to plan for the expected as well as the unexpected. So if the opportunity presents itself, we need to take a course or workshop related to our favorite outdoor activity. Universities, community education programs, and other outdoor retailers often offer classes related to recreational activities. So knowledge and preparation will make our trip easier and more enjoyable. So if we know what to do and we are prepared for the expected and the unexpected, then this might give us a better chance to reduce our impact on the outdoor activity that we're going. Okay, so next one. To avoid sensitive areas. So on land such as meadows, lake shores, wetlands, and streams, unless they are designated routes. And on water, do not operate your watercraft in shallow waters and minimize your speed near shorelines. So we need to do this because other sensitive habitats to avoid less undesignated routes include cryptobiotic soils of the desert, tundra, and seasonal nesting or breeding areas. Also, to avoid disturbing historical, archaeological, and paleontological sites. You also need to avoid sensitive areas, to avoid spooking livestock and wildlife we encounter and keep our distance. So the number of recreationists is rapidly growing every year. Repeated and often unintentional misuse of land creates damage, especially in sensitive areas. So by using common sense and taking a few precautions, we can ensure that the natural places of the fragment will remain available and in good condition for future. Okay. So we need to preserve these areas also as to not disturb the natural cycle and the vegetation and the wildlife in the particular area. Next, we also need to do our part. Okay, so we need to leave the area better than you found it. Properly dispose of waste, fuel, and oil. Minimize the use of fire. Avoid the spread of invasive species. Restore degraded areas. And join a local enthusiastic organization. So it is very important that we do our part because, for example, in joining a local enthusiast group, this will provide great opportunities to learn more about our sport in our local recreation areas. Volunteer at events and a community with whom to share your experiences with.
Hang in there, guys. 9 more minutes. Go ahead and read the slides as the slides are up on the screen.
So we have to travel responsibly, respect the rights of others, we need to educate ourselves, to avoid sensitive areas, and our part. Okay. So for the following slides, there are just a review of what we have learned from the tread lightly principles. Okay. So again, you can just leave your answers in the comment or chat box, and you can pause this video so to give you time for your answers. Okay, so number one, what does the T in tread stand for? Is it A, tread responsibly, B, travel responsibly, or C, teach responsibly? Okay, so the answer for this one is letter B, travel responsibly. Okay. So don't be confused. It's not tread responsibly. It is to travel responsibly. Okay. Next one. Select the best description for the respect the rights of others. So you need to choose from among 1, 2, or 3. This is option 1. Respect and be considerate of other users so that all we enjoy a quality outdoor experience. Is it option number 2? Always put other users' needs before your own. Or option number 3, to recognize how your actions affect others. So the best description for respect the rights of others is option number 1. And that is to respect and be considerate of other users so that all may enjoy a quality outdoor experience. Although number 2 and 3 are also correct, but the best description that we're looking for is stated in option number 1. Okay, next question. Educate yourself principle includes which of the following? Is it just letter A, obtain travel maps, B, take skills classes, C, know how to operate your equipment safely, D, check the weather before you go, E, all the above mentioned, or F, none of the above? Okay, so for this question, the best answer would be letter E, all the above mentioned. So in under the educate yourself principle, you need to obtain travel maps if available. You need to take skill classes again if available. We should know how to operate our equipment safely, and we can also check the weather before we go. Next question. The avoid sensitive areas principle helps to A, protect wildlife habitat, B, protect sensitive soils from damage. C. Prevent destruction of archaeological artifacts and sites. D. Protect animals during seasonal nesting or breeding areas. For letter E, all of the above mentioned. Okay, so obviously the answer for avoid sensitive areas principle, this helps us to letter E, all the above mentioned, to protect wildlife habitat, to protect sensitive soils from damage, prevent destruction of archaeological artifacts and sites, and to protect animals during seasonal nesting or breeding periods. Okay, so for the last question, does the principle do your part include minimizing the use of fire? Is it yes or no? Okay, so under the do your part principle, minimizing the use of fire is included. So the answer is yes. So that is the last question. For the next one, we'll just watch a short video clip regarding treadlight. Okay.
This week's What's New segment is brought to you by TuneX of South Jordan and West Valley. More than just tune-ups, we're off-road. Hi, I'm Brian Higgins from Tread Lightly, and I'm here in the Moody United showroom to talk to you about the Tread Principle Outdoor Ethics for At Your Leisure. We're surrounded here by these incredible machines that are designed for you to get out there and have some fun. But along with a great time comes a great responsibility to make sure that the places you play are left pristine for the next guy who comes along. You should always do your best to tread lightly and help keep access open to everyone by applying the tread principles. Travel responsibly, respect the rights of others, educate yourself, avoid sensitive areas, and do your part. But what does it mean to travel responsibly? No matter what you're driving, Jeeps, ATVs, side-by-sides, or even dirt bikes, travel only on areas open to your particular motorized vehicle. Stay on the designated route and don't drive off or make new trails. To help with traction, balance your load and lower tire pressure to where you can see the bulge, typically not less than 20 pounds for a full-size 4x4. Don't turn around on narrow roads, steep terrain, or unstable ground. Back up or keep moving forward until you can find a safe place to turn around. When possible, avoid mud, but when you do find it, don't go around it. Just stay on the trail and be sure to go easy on the gas to avoid wheel spin so you don't cause ruts. Do your best to straddle ruts, gullies, and washouts, even if they're wider than your vehicle. Slow down when sight lines are poor. Cross streams only at designated fording points. That's where the trail crosses the stream. These areas likely have been improved to keep impact on the water to a minimum. To avoid widening the trail, drive over, not around obstacles. But that's the fun part anyway, right? Try to minimize wheel spin. On switchbacks, avoid roosting around the apex of the turn when climbing or brake sliding during descent, both of which gouge the trail and make it tougher for the next guy. Know where the differential or the lowest point of your vehicle is. This will help you negotiate terrain and prevent vehicle damage resulting in oil and fluid spills on the trail. Buddy up with 2 or 3 riders, reducing vulnerability if you have an accident or break down, and designate meeting areas in case of separation. Maintain a reasonable distance between vehicles and stop frequently to scout ahead on foot. If you aren't sure what's over the horizon, don't drive there until you know. When winching, always inspect your equipment. Use the right winch for the right situation. Find a good, secure anchor and never winch with less than 5 wraps of wire around the drum. If possible, travel on hardened surfaces like gravel, rock, or in sand washes, no matter what form of recreation you take. Respect and comply with any and all signs, barriers, and restrictions. And always remember to travel responsibly. And be sure to follow the other tread principles when you're out enjoying nature. It's important to enjoy yourself and have a good time, but also ensure we keep these opportunities available for future generations to come. You can always find out more info at treadlightly.org. I'm Brian. I hike, I camp, I ride, and I tread lightly.
Okay, guys, finishes the portion of the class for tread lightly. Is everybody ready for the next portion, or do you need, if you need a 5-minute break, raise your hand. Ethan needs a 5-minute break. Okay, let's go ahead and take, it's 9:49 now. Be back in your chair with your camera on at 9:55. And then Mr. Jerry will take the meeting from there. Co-host, if you need to share your screen.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. As Mr. Jerome's presentations have been so outstanding, we're here because we have both attended an outdoor ethics orientation with another council previously, and that's one of the requirements you have to have in order to get this award. We're by no means or master trainers or anything. We're learning just like all of the rest of you. I'd like to introduce my then Chief Gwen, who's helping with the technical side. I'm a member Doy and Waco. So what is outdoor ethics? Ethics are not exactly rules; they're more habits. So what you really need to know is that you have to develop a habit to do these things that we're learning. All this information that we have, you have to practice it. Okay, when you go out, you have to think about it. You have to practice it. And really, the best way to do that is um, by building habits. So in psychology, we say in order to develop a habit, you have to do something about it. And then you develop memory, memory. So when you go out and you do things, count how many pieces or how many ways you can use the skills that you've learned.
Jerry, just to let you know, your audio is fading in and out.
Oh, okay. That's unfortunate. Um, okay, I'm not sure what you heard me say, but I'm saying we need to develop these habits, practice these skills that you've learned. One of the best ways to develop good ethics is to learn to love the land, to protect the land. When you love something, protect it. Okay, that's what we're trying to do. And that's something that Scouts should be one of our primary focuses because we spend so much time out in nature. So you have to protect the areas that you spend time in if you want to enjoy them again. And you also have to think about other people. When they come in,
We're getting no audio. We're
no
getting
audio?
no audio for the last minute.
Okay. Well, what we decided to do is show you some videos to help you generate this love for the land. And these are coming directly from the Administration website. So Gwen, you want to go ahead and show the videos. We're going to collect short videos. It'll take about 10 minutes. And I think you will enjoy it.
Hey, Jerry,
Can't hear
unmute
any of
yourself.
you.
We have no sound from the video. Okay, we have sound now. Thank you.
Did you know that you can practice Leave No Trace no matter where you are? Here are 5 tips to practice Leave No Trace every day.
1. Plan ahead and prepare.
When leaving your home, think about what you bring. Pack a refillable water bottle and choose reusable bags, totes, and containers for everyday items, such as food that you can pack. Many products come in containers that can be reused and repurposed, such as plastic bags, glass jars, and plastic bottles.
Minimize the waste you create by thinking about the food and materials you purchase and limiting the amount of single-use items you consume. That way, there will be less trash going into our landfills and less litter on the ground, which isn't nice to look at and can hurt wildlife.
2. Stick to the path.
The natural world is all around us. Stick to designated paths and avoid any areas that are closed off. By staying aware of our surroundings and sticking to paths and trails that can handle more people walking on them, we can protect more sensitive areas that have delicate plants and soil that are home for lots of different critters and animals. When you do step off designated paths, do your best to stick to durable surfaces, such as rock and dry grass.
3. Pack it in, pack it out. If you do create any waste while you are out and about, be prepared to bring it home with you so that you can dispose of it properly. Reduce as much waste as you can to cut down on how much you need to pack out and send to the landfill. Seek out reusable alternatives and find additional uses for items that were created to only be used once. Recycle as a last resort and research what items can be recycled in your area. If recycling is not an option in your area, think about what other single-use items you can reduce and reuse. The more waste we can reduce, the healthier the natural world will be. 4. Keep wildlife wild.
Observe wildlife from a distance and never feed them human food. Animals that become dependent on leftover food or trash can lose their healthy fear of humans and potentially become aggressive. By sticking to paths and giving wildlife lots of space, we can avoid stressing animals out or damaging their habitat.
5. Leave it as you find it.
Whether it's a flower in your local park or a tree growing through a crack in the sidewalk, all flora that exists is intrinsically a part of the natural world, as are we. Picking or cutting into plants can lead to infections and even death, which can lead to a decline in overall ecosystem health. Instead of carving your name into a tree, plant a tree, or take a picture and share it with someone.
Together, we can empower ourselves and our communities to protect our planet every day.
Beyond the signs and the tire tracks, past the point where I don't look back, there's a place that calls to me, where the wind and water speaks, and keep it wild and leave it free. Those who walk here after me, from the desert sands to the glacier lakes, I'll make my mark and leave no trace.
I see this place just like a child. It's as fragile as it is wild. It's in my care, but I believe I need it more than it needs me.
So I keep it wild and leave it free for those who walk here after me. the desert sands to the glacier lakes, I'll make my mark and leave no trace. I can give or I can take. The choice is mine to make. So I keep it wide and leave it free for those who walk here after me. From the desert sands to the glacier lakes, I'll make my mark, leave no trace. I'll make my mark and leave no trace.
For many, campfires are a big part of having a successful camping trip, and part of a campfire is finding firewood. In some areas, collecting wood from the surrounding ecosystem is allowed to fuel a fire. Today we will be talking about how we can gather firewood responsibly and with minimal impact to the environment around us. First, we always want to plan ahead and prepare to ensure we can not only have a fire, but that firewood collection is okay. Check with land managers for guidance on this. If we can collect firewood, we want to make sure we keep the 4 Ds in mind. These are 4 words that start with the letter D that help us to figure out what wood we can sustainably take from nature. The 4 Ds are dead, down, dinky, and distant. We want to collect dead wood and leave the living trees, well, living. Living wet wood doesn't burn well and actively decreases plant life for an area. One study found over 2,300 damaged living trees at backcountry campsites in Great Smoky Mountains National Park alone. Even if a tree is dead, we want to ensure it is already down and on the ground prior to using it for burning. Standing trees create important habitats for wildlife and help in preventing erosion by holding soil in place. It is best practice to avoid ever snapping limbs off of snags or dead standing trees. When collecting dead and down wood, it's a good idea to choose wood that is about the size of your wrist or smaller. Larger size logs are home to insects and small animals. They also promote the growth of lichens, fungi, and mosses that aid in sapling development. Research shows that depletion of woody debris from area for campfires can affect soil nutrients for 50 to 70 years. Small wood also burns to ash quickly, so fires are easier to put out and less of a wildfire risk. Lastly, we want to try to gather our wood over a distance and cover a large area. By spreading out this impact over a larger area, we are not removing all the woody debris from a single spot. This leaves wood behind for future campers, and others are less likely to notice the changes. By following the 4 Ds and teaching others about the importance of responsible firewood collection, we can protect natural spaces for everyone to enjoy. Remember that Leave No Trace exists on a spectrum. A lot of times, not having a fire at all is going to be the most sustainable option. However, if a fire is necessary for your trip and firewood collection is allowed, remember the 4 Ds. Leave no trace and enjoy your world.
Today we're going to share with you a technique that you can use to have a campfire when there is no designated fire ring and where fires are permitted. This is a fire pan. We can use this to have a Leave No Trace campfire in the backcountry. Once you put your fire pan together, place it on some cobbles to insulate the fire from the ground. If you don't have a fire pan, a cheap alternative is to use a metal trash can lid with a 2-inch lip around the rim. When collecting firewood, it's best to use the 4 Ds. Those are dead, down, dinky, smaller than your wrist or forearm, and distant. Always remember, keep water close by in case your fire gets out of hand. Only when ashes are physically cool to the touch can you walk 200 feet away from trails, campsites, and water sources, and then use the dispersal method to spread them out into the woods. Leave what you find, including cobbles. Always put them back where you found them. By utilizing this skill, you can avoid creating serious impacts such as tree damage, fire scars, and wildfires. Have fun out there and leave no trace.
As a mountain biker, you can protect your favorite trails by practicing these leave no trace skills. Know before you go. Some trails are closed to bikes seasonally or on alternating days.
Don't forget to pack helmet, pump, tube, multi-tool, and the 10 outdoor essentials. Keep single track single. Respect trail builders' hard work and avoid riding wet or muddy trails. Ride or walk over obstacles and through mud puddles, not around them, to avoid widening the trail. Ride within your ability to avoid skidding, which quickly degrades the trail surface.
Pack out your trash. Designate a spot for your food wrappers and consider repackaging your food so you create less waste.
Go before you go. When nature calls, move well away from trails, water, and campsites. On long rides, be prepared to bury poop in a 6 to 8 inch cat hole at least 200 feet from water and trail, or bring a personal portable toilet.
Leave nature as you find it. Modifying the trail or building features, unless you're part of an authorized trail crew, is never in style.
Cleaning your bike and tires not only helps you protect your bike, but it also prevents the spread of invasive species. Protect and keep wildlife wild. Don't feed animals. Your fruit peels and nutshells should be packed out. Observe wildlife at a safe distance. You should be able to visually cover them with your thumb held at arm's length.
Share the trails. Mountain bikers yield to hikers and horses. Downhill riders yield to uphill riders. Yielding might mean stopping and letting others pass, but it can also mean slowing down and clearly communicating with all other users. Making verbal and visual contact with horse riders helps relax their horse.
Some people love listening to the sounds of nature on the trail, so consider using earbuds instead of a portable speaker. Just make sure you can hear what's going on around you.
The more stewards we have, the better. So share your trail ethic with friends and on social media.
Okay, that's all the videos we had. I hope that you enjoyed watching those and it gives you some idea of how beautiful nature can be if you become a steward. That's all we have for you today. Rick, I can turn it back over to you now.
Is that all, Jerry? Just a minute, I can't hear you. Unmute yourself.
Okay. I'm sorry for the sound problems, but I hope those videos were something that everybody could enjoy. That's all I have for you today. If you want to continue to learn, remember Chapter 7 in your handbook covers almost everything we've talked about, and you can visit the Leave No Trace website if you like those videos and you want to see more. Thank you.
Okay, Jerry and Gwen, thank you very much. All right, for the girls, the girl troop, you can go ahead and sign out now if you would like to. For the guys, I would like you to stick around for a couple of minutes and we'll go over our weekly notes. Thank you very much. And I'll post the link later today for people that completed outdoor ethics so that you can print your diploma for graduating. And you'll get your patch at your next court of honor. Thank you very much. Okay,
Thank you.
for the boys, remember next week we're going to be finishing tasks 8C and D. So have your findings ready to present at the meeting on the item that you wanted to buy in 3 places that you got prices. The week after that, July 31 will be online, and it'll be the safety class for shooting. Tentatively, right now on August 7th and 8th, which is a Saturday and Sunday, will be the camp out. August 14th will be the first batch of 8 shooters. And then there'll be 8 more shooters the next week. Sometime during the week of 14 through 21, after most of you will be in school then, after school, Mr. Jacob will interview you online for the Scoutmaster Conference. Hopefully on August 21 to 27, we'll be doing the board of review for all the people that are ready to finish their second class. Now remember, many of you guys still need to do your public service. So you need to get busy on that, or you won't be able to finish second class rank with everyone else. And then August 28th, tentatively, is the court of honor. Okay, Cammy finished his PE this week. Max, how many sessions of PE have you done?
20.
You've done 20. Okay, so you're finished then, Max. All right, Philip, I'd like you to send me a message later today about your status for completing the physical training. All right, Philip? Okay. All right, any questions, any comments? I apologize for some of the bad quality sound. I hope you guys got something out of it today. And again, you'll get your outdoor ethics badge at the court of honor. All right, Jimmy, it's all yours. Go ahead and do the closing ceremony for me, please.
Thank you. Everybody unmute your mics.
Yellow.
Okay. May the great
Scoutmaster of all Scouts grant us to remain true.
Thank you, guys. See you next week.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.